Good afternoon, everyone. This afternoon, we are going to elaborate upon economic subject. Title for today is Patriotic Economy. This concept is actually developed by Dr. Hegel. You can call it patriotic economy or nationalistic economy, or you can call nationalism or popularism or patriotic economy. The concept actually emphasizes upon economy must be developed in the nation, by the nationals, by the consumers of the nation. More of the consumption of the nation must actually be on the national product rather than imported products. In a way, it is a kind of, the concept is hiding kind of protectionism. There was a protectionism introduced by the French economist. Protectionism actually emphasizes about one thing, that every nation should actually produce and consume its own products. It must not actually depend upon the foreign products, must not allow foreign products to be imported in the nation. It must not actually allow FDI, foreign direct investment. The foreigners will come in our nation and they are going to produce and all that. The concept, we are all scared in India of that East India Company. That was protectionism, and at that time, everybody liked it. But then they realized the protectionism also had some black swans, some grey swans, some negativity, some pitfalls. So they reverted back to the Adam Smith's concept given to us in 1776 in his book, The Wealth of the Nations, in which he emphasized about the globalization. Every single thing should be global. One big family, one big market of 195 nations. Everybody depends mutually upon everyone. And this way, the goods produced anywhere in the world, say from goods produced in Canada can actually end up in Australia and vice versa. African products is used in Asia. Asian manufactured foods or products are consumed over there in Africa, in Europe, in America, Australia, everywhere. Big, huge market. But then again, we are not happy with that. We are not complacent. We are not totally gruntled about this globalization. And then now, again, we have been talking about protectionism, but not in the word protectionism. We don't use the word protectionism because it's a kind of frightening word. It is kind of dreadful word. When you say protectionism, everybody will get up and leave your meeting and nobody would be there to listen to you. But if you use patriotic economy or nationalism or populism, people are definitely going to lend ears. They are definitely going to lend ears to you because you're talking about something different. Not the protectionism, but protectionism in the different world. The same thing. Same version, but in totally different perversion. So I have actually chosen 4 different kinds of points to elaborate what is patriotic economy. In nutshell, in short, in the truncated form, it is nothing but patriotism. It is nothing but protectionism. Name is changed. Okay? Meaning, protectionism emphasizes upon consuming the national goods, and the patriotic economy also emphasizes absolutely positively detail. The same thing, but in a different version. People are not willing to listen to protectionism. So this Dr. Hegel has actually come up with different kind of word coined by him. It's called patriotic economy. It sounds better, but it talks about the same thing. Protectionism. Point number one is economic rests upon the nationalism and the popularism. Patriotic economy rests upon the nationalism. Means we are not going to buy any product from anywhere in the world. Our money, our consumers' money, whatever we will purchase, this money must not siphon off in other nations, in other continents, but our money should be stay in our nation. We should buy all the products of Tata, Birla, Bajaj, Reliance and all that, rather than going to buy the products from the other companies. Our car, like Mahindra and Mahindra, Tata must be used rather than using Toyota and Hyundai and all kinds of things. Clothes, we should use our own homemade, homespun clothes rather than going for the American jeans and American and European t-shirts and all sorts of things. Concept is the same, like protectionism. Don't buy products from the foreign countries. Instead of saying this, they are saying pay more interest, attach more interest, pin more interest to our own national products without telling us that don't buy international product, but they are saying buy the national product, it's so good for you. It is going to enrich your nation. It's going to make your nation prosperous. It is going to prosper yourself, your nation, your community, and your economy. But when you are going to buy the product from other nation, those companies are going to take away every profit, everything that you are spending on them to their nation and enrich and prosper their nation, their community, their economy. Is it true? But something which is true, that doesn't mean that it is a right or it is acceptable. It's a right in a philosophical way, in a national way, patriotic way. But economic way, it is not right at all. Why? Because see, if Indians are going to use their own product, produce in their own nation, manufactured in their own nation, and they are going to refuse consuming the product from other nation, then what would be the reaction of this? Read Newton's third law. Newton has said every action is reciprocal reaction, the same reaction. Other nations, the consumers are also going to say, we don't want to use any product coming from India. So our export will be gone, fizzle out. Our export will suffer terrible death. We will not be able to export anything. If we don't export, then where are we going to get the forex? No. Economy must not be under the leash of any one nation. Economy has absolutely liberated sense. Economy likes liberation. Economy likes to move around by its own sense, by its own mind. Economy should not be controlled. Economy should not be stifled. Economy must not be put under leash. Point number 2, state involvement in the market concept. In laissez-faire, even Adam Smith and other French economists have emphasized, the economic fraternity of France have emphasized laissez-faire, no government, absolutely positive, no government in business. Business is not the business of government. Like governing the nation is not the business of businessmen. That's why government should not be in business. Government doesn't know how to run the business. Only businessman knows how to run the business. And that concept of laissez-faire actually circulated, lasted, adopted and repeated by the businessmen for longer than around 50 years. No government. Every business was saying one thing. Hey government, stay out of our business. Thanks, but no thanks. We don't need your help. We don't need your recommendation. We don't need your suggestion. We don't need your guidance. We don't need anything from government because the business of government is not business. But after 50 years, again the people are talking about in the patriotic economy that some role must be played by the government in the market economy. Government should be there to frame the laws, frame the regulation, frame the from the concept, provide some help, provide some assistance, provide material, and be there whenever you need government. Government must be there. Government's background, government's banking, government's backing, government's bankrolling, government's help, government's support, government's guidance, government's packages are needed now in the market. Every company needs government's help when the company is in the hot waters. So now, under the patriotic economy, they invite the government with red carpet, with both the arms, and hug and kiss government, because now government actually looks more able, capable, and viable, more viable than able and capable. When the market is nosedived, the market is melted, when the market is in hot water, at the time it is only government that you are going to run and seek for some kind of help. Government is going to provide you some packages like rescue packages and stimulant packages, and in this way your company is again going to float. Point number 3, emphasis upon self-sufficiency. This concept of patriotic economy actually emphasizes the self-sufficiency. Governments will not depend upon foreign goods. Indian government must not depend upon American government, and American government and vice versa must not depend upon Indian government, but every nation should be self-sufficient in a comprehensive domain, comprehensive needs, comprehensive requirements. But if you think rationally, then you're going to find out that self-sufficiency in comprehensive domain is a far cry. It is not likely, it is not probable, it is not possible. Every nation does not have everything from sandal to satellite. You have to depend upon other nation for something, other nations have to depend upon your nation for something. So, emphasis upon self-sufficiency is encouraged in the patriotic economy, but this concept is unattainable, untenable, unacceptable. Point number 4 is made in the nation for the world. That concept is totally different from patriotic economy. And that is a good concept. That is economically viable concept. It makes lots of sense. For example, India should actually manufacture every single thing. Made in India, but made for the world. Made in India, but made for the world. That concept sounds very beautiful, very adorable, very acceptable. Like to hug and to kiss that concept, because this way we can be self-sufficient in manufacturing. And at the same time, we can export lots of goods to lots of nations and earn bucketful of forex. We can have treasure trove of forex made in India, made for the world. Made in India, made for the world. It has the virtue of both. It actually has the virtue for patriotic economy, and at the same time it has a virtue for globalization. Now you are actually selling every single thing to the world will not actually mind to sell whatever they actually manufacture to the Indian consumers. But when you say, no, we don't want to buy your product, then other guy is definitely going to say, no, we don't want to buy your product. Both the nations are going to suffer. And a nation that needs other nations' market like India is going to suffer the most. America will not suffer. American goods are demanded everywhere in the world. American goods, people buy, by the bucket. Foreign consumers are going to bow their heads to American companies to sell their goods to them. But we don't have that kind of, luxury. We don't have that kind of blessing or benediction from God that our products is actually begged by us, borrowed from us, or bought from us. Customers are not going to fall on their knees for Indian products, but only American and European products. So we cannot actually adapt or adapt to patriotic economy. It will actually not destroy our economy, definitely not, because our economy can be supported by our own indigenous consumers, our own Indian domestic consumers. But definitely it will actually suffer from the brunt, suffer a big dent in the economic clip. Economic trajectory will slow down. So that's all the time we have. Thank you very much for listening. Until then, see you again. God bless everyone on this planet. Amen.